Star Wars, The Last Jedi is finally here. It is episode 8 of the Star Wars saga. It's the continuation of The Force Awakens, the second part of the Star Wars sequel trilogy. It's directed by Rian Johnson. And yeah, I'm not going to tell you the story or the plot of this film because it's a Star Wars film. And with an episodic Star Wars film, it's best you know as little as possible going in, especially with The Last Jedi. Trust me. So is Star Wars The Last Jedi good? Yes. Is it great? Yeah, it is pretty great. First off, all the cast, once again, were really great in their roles. Daisy Ridley was awesome as Rey, John Boyega is great as Finn, Oscar Isaac as Paul Dameron, Adam Driver as Kylo Ren, Carrie Fisher in her final performance as Princess Leia. There were a couple of really good moments with Princess Leia where you're like, oh god, Carrie Fisher's no longer with us. But I have to say the standout in this film for me was Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill was surprisingly really good in this film. I say surprisingly because in the original trilogy, I never felt like he gave the most amazing performance as Luke Skywalker. And in interviews he's always like really funny and jokey, so I didn't know what to expect from him with The Last Jedi. But it was really good. He brought a lot of heart and a lot of emotional depth to this film, surprisingly. The Last Jedi is 2.5 hours long, and it's quite a slow-paced film. It takes its time with the story and the character development. And if you're a casual Star Wars fan, I mean like, if you just go watch the Star Wars film because you want to see space battles and lightsaber fights, you might be a little disappointed with this one. If you're not a hardcore Star Wars fan, if you're not invested into the storylines, you might find this film a bit slow and a bit dull sometimes, maybe. But if you're like me and you are invested in these characters and you are invested in these storylines, you'll appreciate how the film takes its time fleshing those things out. And I really liked how the film explored the psyche of some of the characters. It explores what's going on underneath and what they're actually feeling inside of them. Kylo Ren continues to be one of the more interesting villains that I've seen in recent big franchise films because the turmoil inside of him and the conflict is just so fascinating. Again, if you're a casual Star Wars fan, you might be disappointed how Kylo Ren doesn't do a lot in the film in terms of being a badass, but again, it explores his psyche, his state of mind, and is a very compelling antagonist in the process. However, when the action does go down, it is exciting as hell. There's something about Star Wars films, every time an action scene goes down, like a space battle or another action scene, it gets the heart pounding. There's just something about a Star Wars action scene that's just really awesome, and the space battles in The Last Jedi were exactly that. Now, the thing that I've read the most about this film is how it changes the franchise forever, and there's all sorts of unexpected twists and turns and revelations and whatnot, and don't worry, no spoilers. But yeah, there are some things in here, especially in that last hour, where my jaw actually kind of dropped in a few parts, and I was like, okay then. It is quite a ballsy film in terms of some of the directions the story and the characters are taken in. And episode 9, I have no idea what's going to go down in episode 9 because I just can't predict it because of the directions these characters go in The Last Jedi. It's insane. Massive props to Rian Johnson for that one. All this being said, I do have some flaws with The Last Jedi. I didn't really care too much for Finn's storyline. Finn teams up with the new character Rose to do something that's going to be of massive importance to the survival of the Resistance. And I just didn't really feel like there was a sense of urgency to that storyline because they have to do the thing they have to do against the clock, and I just didn't really feel like they were really rushing and struggling to get this thing done because the Resistance is in massive peril if they don't succeed at what they're about to do. I didn't dislike the storyline. In fact, I like seeing them go to that new planet Canto Bight where it has that casino full of all those different creatures just like playing space poker and whatnot. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of Canto Bight. I didn't feel like we got to see enough of it, but I liked seeing some more different planets in the Star Wars universe. So yeah, I just didn't really care too much for that storyline. There wasn't really much there in terms of any involvement or any sense of urgency, like I said. There's also another smaller storyline of sorts I'm not going to spoil that was actually really interesting. I was like, wow, this is actually something that we haven't seen in a Star Wars film before, and it looked like it was going to go in a really riveting and unexpected direction, but then all of a sudden something happens and it's wrapped up like that, and I was like, oh, okay, so that quickly died down. I'm trying to keep it very vague for no spoilers, but it ended in kind of an underwhelming way, and it continues as a different kind of storyline. It's really hard to talk about this one with no spoilers, but it has to be done. The other negatives I have with the film are smaller things, like some of the CGI looks a little bit unfinished, and there are a couple of silly moments, like one or two silly, humorous moments that really didn't land for me. And that's pretty much it. All of my problems with this film are in that first hour and a bit, but the second hour and a bit, wow. That's all I can say is just wow. Overall, Star Wars The Last Jedi is another excellent addition to the Star Wars saga. It's bold, it's exciting, it's emotional, it's also funny. It does a pretty good job at balancing the dark moments and the humorous moments. It's not an Empire Strikes Back ripoff either. If you were scared about that, it is nothing like Empire Strikes Back. There are one or two similarities, yes, but this is not the Empire Strikes Back 2.0. This is The Last Jedi. and this is one of the very, very, very best films in the Star Wars saga. I feel like I need to see it again to get a better understanding of where it ranks in the Star Wars saga for me. But all I can say is go and watch The Last Jedi, not like you weren't going to go watch it anyway. Star Wars The Last Jedi, have you seen it? What the hell did you think about it? Keep it spoiler free for people who haven't seen the film yet. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below, and if you want to see more of my stuff, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.